Was it the very first Ghostbusters where the Statue of Liberty like came alive and walked down into the water and just started walking? Like, was it the first one? Either way, I feel like 2025, we may just see that happen. It wouldn't surprise me at this point, man. I'm looking for anything to happen at this point. It's crazy right now. Listen, you know how this goes, man. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Lady Liberty is a lie. Oh, I hate doing this to you guys. Psych, I do not hate doing this to you guys. This is the final design of the Statue of Liberty, but do you know about the original design? So let's talk about it. The origins of our Statue of Liberty. Yeah, the guy who gave us this thing, Edward de Boulay, was an expert on the U.S. Constitution. He was the president of a committee that distributed and raised funds for newly freed slaves. Edward loved America. He was always gushing about us, and he was talking about how we talked about liberty and it moved people's souls. Like, it was just like so filling. And he was even more psyched about America when we abolished slavery. The summer of 1865 rolls around, and Le Boulay wants to give America a gift that would commemorate and recognize its abolishment of slavery and its liberation of slaves. 5 years later, Le Boulay secures a partnership with a French sculptor named Bertolli. And guys, the early design, guys, is literally going to blow your mind. So stick around for part 2.
Now, my next bit of news is really exciting, so stop scrolling and hear me out for the moment, because for some reason, there's a lot of countries at the moment that have been making their way to Antarctica. Now, they've made it very clear they're doing a expedition, but not actually said what about. Now, as you can imagine, because of all the conspiracy theories over the years, there's a real mixture of talk in sort of the social media world at the moment for the last 48 hours for speculation of what they're actually doing. So it is interesting though, isn't it? Some of the pictures that some people have been putting up is loads of boats from different countries making their way. Why? Why now? What's going on? Are those boats full of all of our leaders and they're trying to escape? Really don't know. But you do need to question and ask why. Why all of a sudden you've decided to do a huge expedition and supposedly all the countries around the world have been making their way to the ice wall in Antarctica. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It feels bad. We need cameras aboard those ships to see what's going on. I feel like we need to see everything that's happening if this is true. They should live stream it or something. I feel like, yeah, this ain't, no. So is this the new meetup for the elites? What is this? Nope. Not with everything. So y'all gonna roll out when everything is crumbling, the empire's falling. No.
This is off topic, but what do the dolphins know? Why is it a felony to try to communicate with dolphins? Why? What do they know that we don't? In all of history, there's never been a law, a literal felony for trying to communicate or interact with an animal. I'm lost. I'm on this side of TikTok, but I want to know, what do they know?
I agree. They know something, and they don't want us communicating or interacting and figuring out what they know. It's interesting. Right after those fires happened on the West Coast, what did we see? A giant school of dolphins. What were they coming to tell us, warn us? It was some kind of communication needed to happen, but we're not allowed. It's something there. Call me crazy. I don't care.
Hey, it's Conspiracy Theory Monday at Liberty Call. Why are they trying to get rid of all the inspector generals? Why are they trying to get rid of the Consumer Financial Fraud Bureau? Why are they trying to get rid of the people in the FBI? Why are they trying to get rid of the people in the Justice Department? Why are they trying to control or get rid of the Department of Education? You know, individually, it may not seem like a lot, but if we put it all together, I would think somebody's got something to hide. I'm not saying that maybe somebody brought this election. And I think they're trying to keep everybody from finding out how this election was brought. That's all I say. What do you say?
So Squid Games is real the whole time. It's based off a true story. I love me some Squid Games. I did not know they was literally killing them little kids back in the days like that. Did y'all? Let me show y'all the picture. I really need to do some research because I know why they wouldn't having them kids. But I'm thinking the whole time that's a good show because I love the out of Squid Game. I'm thinking this. I didn't know this was based off a true story. It's just more disturbing to me now because I'm so used to watching it thinking it's just a show. And the whole time, little boys and little girls was getting shot in the head. I know half of the time when I be on here, I don't be serious. But I'm serious for real this time. Like, why was that even the thing? Why was they even doing that? Like, what is the... I'm finna do some more research. I gotta come back and let y'all know because I ain't no way y'all was just sitting up there shooting on people over some games. Or was it over games? What, like, if it's based off a true story, then that's basically what happened, right? I don't know. I'll be right back, y'all. Let me go figure it out. So,
I was always told there's somewhat some truth to these movies that they be making. I should have said that one should be no different. And here we all were excited about it, watching it. You know what I mean? Spreading the words to our friends, having watch parties and all this type of stuff with Squid Games. Even though it was crazy, bro. After that, like that first episode, it started off slow. But then when it grabbed you, you were hooked and you couldn't go nowhere. I'm talking about season 1. I haven't really gotten into season 2 yet. But anyway, back to what we was talking about. See how I do you? See? We need to figure out if this was any truth to this.
There was a movie that came out a little while back. And the movie was about cloning. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not the picture I meant to show you guys. There. That's better. Anyway, there was a lot of hidden symbolism and messages and meaning behind the movie. And of course, it's fiction. We're not stating that any of this is true. And a lot of it is based off of conspiracies that exist in our real world, real life, a lot of which are debated, some which have been accepted as it is what it is. But one of the spots was them eating, right? And everybody's sort of in a zombie trance because of what they're eating. They're sort of in this induced numbness, this state of not caring about anything but what's in front of them, right? And it sort of leads into the bigger messaging in the movie. But what many of you fail to realize, and I come with...
You know what that makes me think of, though? And tying this back to the food, when he talked about everybody was sitting in a zombie state because of the food. Think about this, man. We've been talking about food and the recalls and the different toxins and stuff they put in our food. What if that's what's causing us to be so angry, combative, aggressive against people and everything? The stuff we're ingesting. Like, the food is not only having its negative effect on our health, but also our emotions, the way we react and different things like that, bro. It could all be tied in to the food, too.
Come with this in a more biblical context, is that, and you've seen it on my other videos, especially probably more on Instagram because this is my 4th account, and so there are videos on my other accounts that no longer exist because it is what it is with this app. In any event, I believe that there are true Israelites, and you already know what I believe in that and who they are, right? And I'm not going to tell you who I think they are because it is what it is. This is just the ramblings of an old man that should probably touch grass, that's speaking for entertainment purposes only. And this is just an opinion. It's not real. It's all fiction. And then there is the SOS, the people who claim to be, you know who they are, but are not, but are from the house of Satan. And it is alleged that they have their hands in everything in the entire world. And I'm not saying it's true or not, but I dare you to go find a list of the higher-ups and tell me what kind of stars they rock. That said, I believe that the whole reasoning behind all this, beyond keeping you numb to the actual fictitious plan of the movie or whatever else, is to have the real chosen not be mindful enough, woke enough, awake enough, or understanding, however you want to phrase it, to understand that you are being attacked so you can be suppressed. It's like those horror movies where they feed drugs into people so that they can't fight back, or they can't complain to their family members that this evil nurse is keeping them tranquilized or whatever. That's essentially what's happening, but on a global scheme. As they rock, rule, and have their hands in everything to keep you numb to the very truth. Because once the very truth comes out, we realize that everything that has been presented to us has been flipped, has been reversed, perversed, and it's not how it seems at all.
Jury, the above entitled action, find the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, not guilty.
Not against the audience. Or this is not against the audience.
Hold down.
But I'm thankful. Nonetheless, I'm thankful, and we're blessed to be here right now, to be a free man talking to y'all. Thank you. All praise due to God. You know?
The jury, the above entitled.
Yo, man, shout outs to ASAP Rocky, man. You know what I mean? I seen him put a post like side by side, or it was top and bottom post with him on the top, running, hugging people. Sorry, the market just closed. Running and hugging people. And then they showed another post of that other dude who ran and leaped at the judge over the judge's little desk. Ran and leaped. They said the difference between the two. Yo, that thing had me rolling this morning. I was like, yo. Oh, man. The market just closed, though, y'all. It was a good day in the stock market. My bad. I thought I had it muted. Yeah, that drone footage showed you how crazy it looks, man, how severe it is and how bad it can be. Wow. This is another one, though. Sinkholes are popping up, seems like everywhere right now. Our planet, its pH balance is off. Something's wrong. I don't know.
NBC News reporting tonight that the Trump administration accidentally, totally didn't mean to fire the people working on bird flu. No idea how that happened. Now the bird flu experts at USDA, they are trying to hire them back. They did this with the National Nuclear Security Administration as well, which we talked about on last night's show. Now it's with the bird flu workers. Oops. What does this button do? Does anybody know what this button does? I thought I should ask because just a minute ago I just pushed it. Does anybody know what it does? Got any other buttons I can push? NBC News
She got me with that one. Oh, this is crazy, man. This is like a welcome to the United States of America television show, bro. Every day it's something. You cut on the show to see what's crazy going on. Wow.
Always somebody that could go do the same search that I did. So, of course, car crashes and fatalities and things of that nature does take place, right? We all know this. It's just common sense here. However, though there has been a large number of fatalities due to speeding and negligence of the drivers and things of that nature, there has been a continuous decrease in accidents caused by motor vehicles. And I would rather put my trust in me to drive over someone else to fly. My grandmother used to say, if I was meant to fly, God would have gave me wings. And then you'll have other people say, well, if you're going to be afraid, then you ain't never going to live. Well, y'all go ahead. Do as you see fit for you. I'm going to do what my heart tells me for me. Y'all be blessed. Always somebody.
Hey, let me ask you the question with these stats, right? How can we even compare the two? There are way more vehicles on the highway than there is planes in the sky. Way more. So the numbers are skewed, in my opinion. right? Let's start there, number one. Number two, people always be like, well, if it's your time, it's your time. What if it's the Joker 10 seats ahead of me, it's his time? Why I gotta be on his timeline? No. So you mean to tell me it was all of our time on this plane? And they just gathered us all here so we could all go streamline where we going? We all going to the same place? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just crazy right now with what we're seeing. I told you, I think somebody put out the numbers is either in the 60s or the 80s or 70s, somewhere up there. How many plane incidents we've had this year alone so far, and we in February.
There's now a 3.1% chance that an asteroid will hit Earth in 2032. And this is the highest risk assessment that an asteroid has ever received in history. NASA has increased the chance of this asteroid hitting Earth to a 1 in 32, which is up from its 1 in 42, which was previously reported. Back on February 7th, NASA increased the likelihood that this asteroid would hit Earth from 1.2% to 2.3%. Then these odds climbed from 2.3% to 2.6%. And yet again, these odds climbed from 2.6% to 3.2%. In under 3 weeks, these odds have climbed 3 separate times. The estimated diameter of this asteroid is 177 feet or 54 meters. While the asteroid is too small to end civilization, it is big enough to wipe out an entire city. There's now a
That's what we got to continue to pay attention to, man. I told you we're going to stay on top of this. Because look at how the percentages are changing. When we started out 1.3, now we're at 3.1. 3.1, that's changed pretty fast. Now I wonder what's their likelihood of trying to shoot something at it, hit it, knock it off its path. I wonder where they're at with that. That's what we need to hear, but we got to continue to monitor this though. This is, the percentages are changing pretty quickly.
Now to the asteroid being called a city killer. There's a chance it could hit Earth. It's happened before. An asteroid hitting Earth. This one in Russia in 2013, injuring more than 1,000 people. Now scientists say an asteroid discovered in December has a chance of striking our planet. It was named 2024 YR4, some calling it a potential city killer. It could hit in late 2032.
We're only looking at about a 3% chance that it hits the Earth. If it hit a city, it would completely obliterate a very large city.
It's up to 300 feet wide, the size of a large building.
If it was to hit, it would have an energy of between about 5 megatons of TNT and about 50 megatons of TNT, which is a very big range. This thing is probably in the range of, I call it 1,000 times, 500 to 1,000 times larger than the bomb dropped over Hiroshima.
Astronomers have only a limited time to observe the asteroid before it fades from view.
Next month and in May, the James Webb Space Telescope will take its shot at looking at this object. We'll get a much better idea of its size. Those observations will really pin down its orbit.
In 2028 is when it comes back closer to the Earth. That will be our chance to more than likely say for sure whether or not it's going to hit the Earth.
NASA recently had success using a spacecraft to knock an asteroid off course during a test. Such a mission would need to be done years in advance of a potential impact. For now, scientists don't seem too worried.
There's a pretty good chance that it's going to hit in the ocean or someplace uninhabited, in which case we just get to see a great light show.
The potential impact would likely be somewhere in South America or the Middle East.
Now, just a few days ago, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies came to this house behind me, which is on Lydia Lane, to do a welfare check on a woman. But when they got inside, they didn't find her, but they did find her 3 kids who had been abandoned and living in deplorable conditions.
Everybody's upset about it, like, oh my God, this is right in our neighborhood. How could something like this happen?
Pontiac resident Emma Gross lives a few streets over from the home where the kids were found. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office says the house was covered in piles of trash as high as 4 feet in some rooms. There was even mold and human feces throughout the house.
It's pretty heartbreaking that the kids would have to live under those conditions.
Sheriff Michael Bouchard tells me a 15-year-old boy and his 2 sisters, ages 12 and 13, hadn't been outside the home in years and were surviving off of weekly drop-offs of prepared food.
It kind of reminds me of the commercials you see where animals are living in very deplorable conditions. Well, kind of take that times 10. And that's what the kids were living in for years.
The boy told deputies that his mother abandoned them back in either 2020 or 2021. Deputies were recently called because the landlord of the home asked for them to do a welfare check.
The landlord said he hadn't seen her for some time, and I think, as our detectives mentioned, that hadn't paid her rent going back to October.
The kid's mother was arrested on Friday, and Bouchard says she had been living somewhere else in Pontiac. The kids hadn't been in school since they were abandoned.
Well, that's going to be a very long process to figure this all out. Not just how they are, both mentally and physically, but how did this ever happen, to have these kids fall through the cracks on so many levels with relatives, the community, and with schools.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I've seen, child neglect and other situations where they're living in bad places, but not to this level and not for this extended duration.
The mother will be facing criminal charges, and in the meantime, her kids are now staying with a relative. Now, just a few days ago...
That's what I was going to ask. Like, where's the family? Probably didn't really have no family, or how you can alienate yourself away from your family and do that. The kids, what about the schools? They don't reach out and check or have somebody check to say or report that this kid hasn't shown up to school in this amount of time. Can we send somebody out or anything like that? Like, what? My heart hurts for them, man. To know you trying to survive like that on a daily, not knowing where your next meal is coming from. You're a teenager. It's with 2 siblings or however many other siblings to take care of.
I would think liberals would love the fact that you have the biggest electric vehicle company in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be adored by the left,
Yeah, not anymore.
Less so these days.
He killed that, huh?
I mean, less.
I really didn't.
Well, I mean, this whole sort of like, they call it like Trump derangement syndrome, and I didn't, you don't realize how real this is until like you can't reason with people. So like I was at a friend's birthday party in LA, just a birthday dinner, and it was like a nice, quiet dinner, and everyone was behaving normally. And I happened to mention, this is before the election, like a month or 2 before, I happened to mention the president's name. And it was like they got shot with a dart in the jugular that contained like methamphetamine and rabies, okay? And they're like, wow! And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, guys, like, you can't have like a normal conversation. Yeah. And it's like they become completely irrational.
And I feel like that about both sides. Both sides. It's like if you don't speak good about Trump, this side hates you. If you don't speak bad about Trump, then this side hates you. Like, bro, I'm not on neither one of your sides, and I can care less how you feel. Like, that's how I have to be at this point, because it's like, oh my gosh, bro, the way y'all attack, like, can we have an honest or sit down and have a honest debate or conversation without the hatred? Or no, I gotta be for everything this person say, or I gotta be against everything this person say. I can't like some things this person has to say, and I can't dislike some things this person has to say. It's like, and on what world is that logical? Not in my world. Not in my world. Because we can agree to disagree in my world. We can both either not like somebody or like somebody and still get along with each other. Still have a conversation, but agree to disagree. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But this is where we are right now. Maybe, again, back to what I said earlier. Maybe it's the food. Maybe it's the food and different things we're eating and drinking that's making us so hostile right now.
We do have some breaking news we want to take you out to, as we are hearing from President Donald Trump releasing a statement on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He posted to his Truth Social account, and this is a pretty lengthy quote, so we are going to pull it up, 2 pieces at a time. So let's start with this. He is saying this again on the Ukrainian president, saying, quote, "Think of it. A modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed, while the United States will get nothing back. Why didn't sleepy Joe Biden demand equalization, and that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us? We have a big, beautiful ocean as separation." On top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money we sent him is, quote, "missing." He refuses to have elections, is very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. I am going to pull up that next part of the quote right now. "A dictator without elections, Zelensky better move fast or he is not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something I'll admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do. Biden never tried, Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered and millions have unnecessarily died, and so it continues." That just into our newsroom here.
Wait a minute. 200 billion is missing and nobody has a clue? Are you kidding me? You know who could use that money right now? Western North Carolina. You know who could use that money right now? Los Angeles. You know who could use that money right now? Kentucky, Tennessee. What just happened in Detroit? Need I go on? But billions of dollars is missing? Oh my gosh. This has got to be a dream, and I should be waking up any moment.
From President Trump as he is issuing this statement, I am going to give you a live look at the White House right now, because this is following a series of events here after Ukrainian President Zelensky accused President Trump today of living in a Russian-made, quote, disinformation space. He pointed comments that risked further souring relations with Washington as Trump pushes for an end to this war.
Sounds like to me, I don't know what everybody else read, but it sounds like to me that relationship is definitely sour. Y'all read the same thing I read, right?
Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin said he would like to meet with Trump a day after senior American and Russian officials held talks that were partially aimed at preparing for that. Zelensky said he, quote, would like Trump's team to be more truthful in his first response to a series of claims that Trump made the previous day, including suggesting that Kyiv was to blame for the war, which enters its 4th year next week. The comments from Trump and Zelensky were a back and forth between the leaders of these two countries that have been allies in recent years under President Biden, as the U.S. provided crucial military equipment to Kyiv to fend off the invasion and used its political weight to defend Ukraine and isolate Russia on the world stage. But the latest here, as this is rapidly developing, the Trump administration has started charting a new course, so to speak, reaching out to Russia and pushing for a peace deal. Senior officials from both countries held talks yesterday to discuss improving ties, negotiating an end to the war, and potentially preparing a meeting between Trump and Putin after years of frosty relations, we could call it. So that is the latest here as we are getting this into our newsroom. That statement from President Trump, pretty lengthy there on Truth Social. Of course, all of this coming after these increased peace talks between Russia and Ukraine that we have been showing you here on Live Now from Fox. Any more on this? Of course, we will bring it to you as we always do.